Fire it up! Fire it up! Yeah, what's up, collecting crew, and welcome. This is my first figure preview. I'm Jay Feezy, and this is Feezy's Figures. So yeah, we're going to be talking about Kaustic Plastics, the Crow. Eric Draven, specifically from the Crow. Man, I'm looking forward to this one. So yeah, I think I figured this is a stream or a figure that would probably be good to have its own individual stream. There's a lot of information to cover here, so I figured I'm going to provide as much information as I can, and we'll go over some discussion. So I'll be going over figure specs, options, pricing, comparisons. I have some comparisons for later on compared to the Sideshow and the Hot Toys versions of Eric Draven, and then in addition to looking at this Kaustic Plastik one. And then, yeah, like I mentioned, towards the end, we'll go over the discussions specifically like on pricing and those high NRDs. Yeah, I know it's like the talk of the town, the talk of the community on that. So I got some thoughts on that, and we'll kind of go over that. But hopefully this is just meant to provide, as always, like I usually try to do, provide information and kind of be some sort of a resource for collectors to provide and help them with the making a informed decision, right, and making a purchase, whether good or bad, and which Crow figure they'd like to get. So yeah, without further ado, and as always after the stream, I'll have the timestamps or the chapters in the description below if you want to kind of jump to a specific point in the stream. So yeah, let me go ahead and bring in my panelists rolling with me. I may have some more showing up later, but for now, you guys know him as Moose of Your Dreams, aka Moosedream. What is up, good sir?
Hey gang, hey chat. Hello world, hello collectors, hello community of collectors. Moose here. I appreciate
Moose,
having the opportunity to join Feezy. Feezy's a good man. He's one of the he's one of the good ones, you know, and he's helped me out, you know, tangibly, you know, and I appreciate that. And so I mean, and now I'm trying to broaden that horizon, get other people to help me out like that too.
yeah.
And I did.
So
I mean, you know. Excuse me.
Yeah. No, I was gonna say,
I had a rant on my group about, you know, Sideshow screwing me out of, you know, a second battle damage, you know, Terminator, which I wanted, and they wouldn't let me have it, even though they gave me a waitlist conversion. Oh, you got a waitlist conversion? I said, oh, I don't trust you people, you know, and so because it's low stock, you know, but somebody else reached out to me and said, hey, would you like one? I have a waitlist conversion for it. I'll send it to you instead. I go, dude, definitely here. Take the money, friends and family. Take it away. Take it away. Let's get going. Let's get onto the thing. I don't want to go on a tangent because I'll take over the stream. You know me.
Yeah, yeah. I know you said it's late for you too, and you wanted to give your thoughts real quick.
Late,
yeah. So I wanted to hear what you had to say real quick before you had to jump off. But yeah, go ahead. What are your thoughts? Because I'm going to go through, like I said, go through all the details and specs and pricing information, all that later on. But yeah, go ahead and give us your thoughts on what you think of this.
The Crow comic book and the Crow movie was, you know, an absolute, it was a great representation of that comic book, I thought. You know, unfortunately, you know, under a big tragedy that happened during the movie making, you know.
Yeah.
And I always like trying to look to see how, you know, what they snuck in, you know. Because a lot of times, they had to figure out how to fix the thing, you know. Because there was a lot of scenes they couldn't do because he was dead, you know. So, but no, I think it's great, great movie, and I like that. You know, I haven't seen the other one from the Skarsgård movie, so, and I probably never will, so because I heard it's horrible. But
what are your thoughts on this, on the figure though, on the Kaustic Plastik?
The figure is awesome. You know, could have an extra head sculpt. And you know, and they showed that screaming head sculpt, and you know, I think as a minority of people wanted that screaming head sculpt. I don't want that screaming head sculpt. I wanted a different kind of head sculpt, something where he's smiling or he looks like he's in total control and things like that. You know, something like that kind of head sculpt. But since we don't, we'll have to live with what we got. So.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm not gonna get it. I don't want to get it. I don't want to spend that kind of money. You know, I said, all right, I'll just go and see what's going on, you know, and see if I can use a coupon or something like that. See if I can fit it out. When I was reading it said, you know, if you bought it, you know, and paid it off, you'd get a 10% discount. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so I went in there I went into infinitestatue.com. I avoided ClassicPlastic.com. For some reason, ClassicPlastic.com didn't show like all the things that you could get, from that company on their website, because they have two different websites for some reason. I don't know, but you sign into the same thing, but sometimes they didn't show all the Frankenstein stuff about a year ago. So and so and at first I saw, oh look, the Crow, the all-in edition, only $324. I go, oh great, yeah, wow, they really saved some nickels in that. And then I put it in, I said, let me click on it. I'm clicking, I'm gonna get it, And then when I put it on, and it said like, oh, it's like $5 something. I go, oh, it's over $600. Oh, that's only the NRD. Holy shit! Now 50% NRD. What is that?
Yeah.
And I said, well, this is an awesome set. You get all that stuff. You get that window. You get the gravestones. You get so much stuff in that set. It's worth it. And I said, I'm going to get it. And I put it in. I said, okay, pay it off. Got my 10% discount. I hope I still got free shipping. I'm like, because it said only like $40. I mean, I paid when my final amount looked like it was probably going to be like, Sideshow had it for $690 for a short time before.
Yeah.
Before it disappeared or went waitlist, and then but somehow people put it, clicked on it, pre-ordered it, pressed pre-order, and they joined the waitlist, and then like about 10 minutes later they got a conversion. Like so, it's been this very strange how what was going on there, because I've never seen that before.
Yeah,
but
it's weird.
They want $690, so you figure they're going to charge you a tariff. They're going to charge you tax. For some places, I don't get charged a tax on mine. I get mine sent to New Hampshire, and and then and then it's shipping. So mine was like $624 and change or something like that altogether, and that was shipped. So it says, but I don't think there's anything they haven't mentioned anything about tariffs, so they don't know what they're going to be when it does ship. So, but Sideshow is $690. So you figure it's going to be another $100 if you get that all-in set. For $790.
Yeah, possibly.
So
and I'll go over that. Yeah, I'm going to go over all that information later on. And you touched on a lot of things that I'm actually planning on I'm going to go through the stream and I'll provide more information on that. But yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts of the figure in general.
I recommend if you want to get it, go for the gusto. If you can't keep it, I'd say buy the thing, but pay it off. You can't pay it off. You're screwed. But even if you do, well, if you only do the NRD, get that big set and then sell pieces off. And like reduce your cost. That's going to be a hard thing to get. You might have to wait a little while before you do it. It's a big nut to jump on people. And so what are you going to do? So I would say I recommend it. It's an awesome figure. And they're an awesome company. I can't tell you how many I have. I got the Nosferatu web exclusive, and I was lucky because like some showed up somehow, in Fabio's warehouse. And I said, "Oh, really? I want that one," because I was looking for it on the website, and it was like $1,000 or something like that. Or not on eBay. They wanted $1,000 for that thing.
After the fact, yeah.
And it's crazy price now too. I think So I have that one. And what else did I get from them? I got the Tachira Mafudi from them.
Yeah, they have a couple out, but. Moose, I'm going to go ahead and bring in Blue here, and I'm going to go ahead and get started because, like I said, there's a lot of information to cover. And so I'm going to go ahead and go from there.
You guys go. You guys can take over from here. Okay. I'm going to pass the baton, and I'm going to head to hay.
All right, Blues. All right, Moose. Have a good night. Thanks for joining in. Yeah, and we'll be on. I'll talk to you later. Have a good one, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, in place of Moose, we got Blu Tattu. What is up, good sir? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Yep. All right. Yeah.
Awesome. How's it going, man?
Got you. Good, sir. Yeah. Thanks for joining. How you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Cold as hell right now.
Oh, are you at work?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I'm sitting in my truck trying to stay warm. So.
Yeah.
I'll be here a while.
Yeah, we can, keep you company then. But yeah, if you have to jump off for whatever reason, yeah, no worries at all. But yeah, thanks for joining, man, and doing what you can.
Yeah, man.
All right, let me address the chat, and we'll go ahead and get started because I know there's a good amount of stuff here. Like I said, like I mentioned here, so we got Tim Harvey, Mr. Harvey. You made it good, sir. Thank you for joining. Happy Thursday night, Feezy and crew. Yeah, happy Thursday night to you. Yeah, I'm glad Tim was able to make it. I asked him to come by to keep fact check me and keep my facts checked here and make sure I got all my information correct here because yeah, Tim helps run part of the, if I'm not mistaken, the Caustic Plastik group on Facebook. So yeah, he's been in there and trying to answer what he can on the questions and answer your questions and comments in there. So yeah, shout out to Tim for doing that, taking time to do that, and for stopping by the stream and and providing any information or correcting me if I got anything wrong. So thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. We got Valkyrie Magnus in the house. Mr. Magnus, what is up? Thank you for coming through. We got 1M12 in the house. What's up, BZ? Not really into the Crow, but that figure looks awesome. I'm waiting for Caustic Plastik's Conan. Yes, sir. Yeah, no, a lot of people are waiting for that one as well. We got NW Collector in the house. What is up, Larry? It's a pre-order the exclusive Fire. Yes, sir. Yeah. That is, that is really tempting. It is but a good chunk of change and a good chunk of space for that one. But yeah, man, congrats on securing that one. Let's see, we got Jogron 2 in the house. What is up, Lane? Says, this figure is cool. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is, man. Yeah, it is. Let's see here, making sure I'm not missing anyone. We got Max Daddy in the house. Hey, fellas, what's up? Max Daddy, thank you for coming through. Hopefully you're doing well. Having a good night. We got Commander Green in the house. Commander Green, attention on the deck. Hey, Feezy and Moose. Hey, Commander Green, thank you for coming through. And we got Yomo, my man. What is up, Yomo? What's up, guys? Says Yomo. All right. Yeah, I'm seeing these. It sort of reminds me, I'm seeing the some of the comments coming from the vertical stream. So there are 2 streams I have going. That's something I've been doing recently to give viewers options on whether they want to view this horizontally or vertically. So if you are vertical and you want to switch to horizontal, you have to click on the other stream, and vice versa, right? If you're on horizontal, you want to switch to vertical, just switch over to that. That is a separate stream link, and it's also, the chat is separate last I checked, so just keep that in mind. If you're seeing chats that I'm bringing up that aren't on the chat you're in, then it's probably because it's on the other stream. So just an FYI on that. But all right, here we go, and as usual, let me know how the audio and video is on our end. Yeah, keep us make sure you guys keep us in check here. Make sure we're not all over the place. So I think we're good, but yeah, for sure, let us know. Okay, with that, let us go ahead and get started. So yeah, figure specs. Again, I figured I'd kind of go over this information. There's a lot of information there, and see if we can provide some clarity on some of the information that's going around there. I know there's a lot. There is a lot. Okay, so let me go and bring up this here. So I'm going to go over first the specs of the figure itself, a little background on the movie too, for those of you that aren't aware. I know a lot of you are, but just provide a little more insight. So the Crow, this figure is based on Eric Draven from the 1994 version. There was a reboot recently that didn't do too well from what I understand. I have yet to see it, but yeah, the figure's not on that one. It's on the Brandon Lee version. For those of you that don't know, Brandon Lee, unfortunately, he died tragically during the filming of this movie. He's the son of the great, the legend, Bruce Lee. Yeah, and it's just unfortunate that we lost both of them at a young age, man. It's like, I mean, Bruce Lee would have been older had he, if he would have survived and, kept going on and living his years. I probably still would have been younger, but still would have, just to imagine the things that he would have accomplished and done in his life for both of them, Brandon and Bruce Lee. So yeah, it was just tragic on both counts. So, but it's great that we're getting this line. The Crow, that movie was great. I loved it, I should say. I know there's mixed opinions on that, but yeah, I really loved it. Yeah, Blue, you got any thoughts on that? Anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, as far as the remake, I watched it, and it wasn't terrible.
Okay.
It was actually pretty good. I mean, it was worth a watch. Is it going to live up to Brandon Lee's? Hell no. But it was pretty good. I kind of dug it. Like I said, it wasn't the best, but it was. I think it's worth a watch. Everybody should, at least give it a chance. Don't, just kind of. Don't think of the Brandon Lee one, and just think of it as a movie. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
yeah, I hear you.
It's enjoyable.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
In
Yeah,
my
it's
opinion.
definitely fair. Yeah, no, you're right. I should definitely give it a chance. And I do want to. It's just because of what I've been hearing. It's kind of lower on my priority list, above like lower compared to other things that got a lot of better reviews. But yeah, I do want to watch it. I'm interested. I'm curious. Okay, so this figure, Caustic Plastics figure, there's 4 versions, and again, I'll go over all 4 versions. Set to come out Q3 of next year, 2027. The figure itself is standing at 11.8 inches per KP's website, which is 30 centimeters. So it's your typical, 6 scale height, right? Okay, so let's see where we at. What I have here on the screen is this is the what's coming with all editions. This is the feature that's coming with all the editions of the figure, right? So this is, which is pretty high end, right? This is meant to be like, this is the first in Caustic Plastics Maestro line is what they're calling it. Their Maestro is their higher end 1/6 scale figure. Think high end NR as well. NR has multiple tiers. Caustic Plastics seem to be doing something similar. And I forget what the name of NR's like the highest tier is with all quality materials and fabrics. So this is kind of similar to that, right? So it's you'll and the price is reflecting of that, right? So kind of keep that in mind. So these are going to be handmade, limited edition overall. So one of the options is sculpted. The other 3 are going to be sculpted hair. The sculpted hair is going to have Tibetan lamb fur, which sounds already fancy, right? So rooted hair, Tibetan lamb fur, yeah. Separate rolling eyes, which is interesting because this is Caustic Plastics. They're going to be using this thing called RCES, which is Real Crystal Eye System, and basically that's just like their proprietary eye models and production, where they just try to replicate the human eye as much as possible. And they have a photo. And we'll look at some of those photos here, but where you can, if you look at it from the side, you can see like where it looks like, it's intended to be like an actual cornea, right? Like you can see kind of like some of the part of the eye that further adds to that realism of the figure, it sounds really cool. So I'm curious to see how that actually comes through in final production and what the execution of that's going to be. But based on the photos that we'll look at here in a little bit, it seems pretty cool. They also mentioned it's supposed to have like the natural curvature of the human cornea, right? Is what it mentions too. So it's really,
nice.
Kind of replicating depth and transparency of the eye. So it sounds crazy. It's just kind of, I think that's one of like the innovative, one of the next steps in innovation for 6 scale figures, I think, because I don't know if anyone's stressed that in 6 scale prior. So really curious. The body will be made with medical grade silicone, which is the highest grade silicone from what I understand, and Fabio has mentioned that. So high
the whole
end
body
silicone.
is silicone?
Yeah, that's what he said, and I actually listened to that in the Sideshow. I don't know if you recall where Fabio was on Sideshow and he was previewing the figure, and I forget who the gentleman's name, the bald guy in Sideshow. He was interviewing him, and he said that the body was going to be made with medical grade silicone.
Oh wow! Okay. Nice.
Yeah. So all versions will come with 13 interchangeable hands, so we'll look at those hands. Black boots that will be magnetic. High quality leather pants / trousers, high quality leather coat, black shirt, a chair, which they're calling an ancient chair, a ring with a neck strap. So basically, the ring that, if you've seen the movie, like the ring that he gave to his, I want to say his wife or fiance / girlfriend, Shelly, that he wears on his neck. He'll have that, a sword, a katana that is metal, that will be made of metal, shotgun, a flying crow with a transparent sand, his guitar with a real leather shoulder strap, and a magnetic sand. So again, that's going to come with all versions, right? So just everything that I mentioned there, that's all versions. Okay,
right.
So starting with the standard, let me switch over here. So this, and here's all the accessories that I mentioned. It comes with all versions here. I should have had this up earlier, but yeah, all the hands you can see, again, 13 hands, the guitar with the leather strap, the shotgun, the katana. Here's the ancient chair they're talking about here. The flying crow here that will have a transparent stand, apparently there. And so yeah, this is with all versions. Okay, so first up, standard. The standard, like I mentioned, is going to have the sculpted hair, and that's what we're seeing here on the screen. This is the head sculpt with just, let me zoom in a little more, with the sculpted hair to kind of give you an idea. And I will, like I said, I will have a comparison later when I compare these head sculpts to the other 2 iterations that came out before from Hot Toys and Sideshow. But so yeah, standard version, like I mentioned, all the accessories I mentioned before, all the features and the tech for the figure tech that I was reading earlier, that all comes in here. So and then sculpted hair. So base version, and I'll go over all the prices towards the end. Next up from there, you have the deluxe version. So deluxe version is the same as standard, except just swap the sculpted hair for the wool, the implanted. No, not wool. I was gonna say wool. What is it? Tibetan lamb wool. That's what it is. Yeah, Tibetan lamb wool, rooted hair sculpt. So yeah, that's the only difference. Yeah, what's that?
Say that 5 times fast.
Yeah, I know, Tibetan lamb wool. Tibetan. I already messed up. I was messing up. Tibetan lamb wool. Yeah, so that's the difference with the deluxe. From there, you go up to the deluxe gold. The deluxe gold will add this diorama with the graves of both Eric Draven and Shelley Webster that you see here. This is cemetery. It has like the two tombstones and over this piece of like the cemetery, and it will have an additional perched crow that you see here. This crow that you can kind of perch on, that you can set atop the tombstone. And I'm not sure. I'm kind of blanking here on whether this can actually be attached. I think someone asked us in the Facebook group as well if they can be attached to the figure, and I didn't see a response yet. So we'll see if we can get confirmation on that, or I'll maybe look through the photos here. I don't recall seeing that, but we'll see. But either way, it comes with a crow that you can perch onto the tombstones. This bouquet of flowers here that you see in the bottom, and then it also comes with this mask that holds here.
I think we're on the wrong picture.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. Let me go back here. So yeah, I forgot to switch over. So here are here's the 2 tombstones here again. Sorry, with the perch crow, piece of the cemetery, and the flowers here. Yeah, thanks, Blue, for pointing that out. So yeah, this is the deluxe gold, and then that, in addition to the the deluxe gold also comes with this mask here. This kind of like theater/drama mask that he has in the film as well. So that's the deluxe gold. And then finally, the exclusive edition that you can, I don't want to say only, but I'll touch on that here in a second. The exclusive edition comes with this huge, ginormous window diorama base here. So you get everything else that I mentioned already in the previous 3 versions, well, minus the sculpted hair sculpt, but the rooted hair, and just add this window diorama base on top of that, right? So this is, and there's some photos here that shows the dimensions of this. Let me scroll through some of these here. But yeah, this is included with the exclusive version. So per Kaustic Plastik's website, they said they had 500 of these, / infinite statue, right, if you pre-ordered them there. Sideshow did get a limited quantity of these. I'm not sure how many they got though, right? Because it's already overall, from what I understand, it's 500 pieces. But I think of that, Sideshow got a certain amount. I'm guessing even much less than that. So, yeah, last I heard, it was already in the waitlist for the exclusive version. Sideshow does have the other 3 versions as well, though. So they have all 4 versions there. Well, they did have all 4 versions. So yeah, quite a bit. This window diorama will have detachable candles. So the candles you see there apparently are detachable. They're magnetic, so you can remove them. There's pieces of glass there on the floor, so I'm not sure if those are removable as well. You can see the kind of like these big chunks of glass there. And there's that mask I told you that comes with the deluxe version. Let me go back here. Yeah, so yeah, huge base again. This is what comes with the exclusive edition. Let me go through the chat here real quick and get some confirmation. I know Tim is helping me here, so again, I appreciate you, Tim. Yep, audio and video is good. Thanks, Tim. Appreciate it. So let's see here. This one, okay. So yeah, Tim here is correct me. So actually, that's not correct. This one doesn't have the silicone body. Okay, thanks for Tim. So to clarify, is that not the standard version doesn't have the silicone, or is that the a certain other versions? So I thought, yeah, because Fabio didn't specify in that string. He just said medical grade silicone. So I guess it wasn't. He didn't specify which versions it was. Yeah, so Tim here is saying is it was intended to have medical grade silicone, but since the body's completely covered up, they decided to do away with that to cut costs. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Good thing I had Tim here. Thanks for clarifying that, Tim. Yeah. So yeah, I guess I missed that there in the either somewhere in the post or in one of the the Facebook posts or something. But yeah, no, that's really thanks for sharing. That's really important to hear. Yeah,
Right.
Tim's also adding the medical grade silicone body will be regulated to figures where the body parts are exposed. Example, corner. Oh, okay, gotcha. That makes sense. I see. Yeah, that does make sense. I mean, yeah, because if the figure is going to be covered, then that makes sense. But also, I know some people are have a preference to not have, or they prefer to have, even with a clothed figure, to have a seamless body, because they don't want to see the joints through the clothing. Not to say that this won't be won't have visible joints, but actually that's another good follow-up question, Tim, if you're able to confirm. Like, does that just mean, will this still have a silicone body but just not medical grade, or will it have will it actually be just your typical plastic kind of jointed body? Yeah, now that I'm saying that out loud, I'm kind of wondering if that's going to be the case. Yeah, go ahead, Blue.
Yeah, I'm thinking if depending on how the body is, like um, like if you took off his jacket or something like that, would you see like joints or something? I mean, that'd be
Right.
kind of an issue.
Okay.
I don't think a body covered in covered in all clothes and a big old jacket requires a silicone body. But yeah, it just should be sculpted well, and kind of hide the joints a little bit if it's a tight shirt or tight clothing or something.
Yeah. No. Yeah. That's true. I agree with you. I just know there's some collectors who prefer to have, even with clothes, to have like that seamless body
Right.
to
It does look better.
Yeah. And then Tim here is saying, he's confirming also none of them have the silicone bodies. Okay, well there you go. It's all going to be standard plastic bodies. Okay, yeah. Thanks again, Tim. Appreciate that. Yeah, so there you go, folks. Just something to consider there. But yeah, no, I agree. If it's going to be covered, especially if the jacket and a lot of that clothing, I don't think it'll make too much of a difference there. But going back to this diorama base here, I have this photo of the dimensions. So in case some of you were wondering, the diorama itself is standing at 15.9 inches, 40 and a half centimeters in height, 12 inches, 31 centimeters in width, and then the depth is going to be just over 7.5 inches or 19.5 centimeters. So again, in inches, just under 16 by 12 by 7.5 around approximately. So yeah, just kind of keep that in mind. Again, this is just only for the exclusive version for this window diorama base. Any thoughts on the versions, Blue, on any of these?
Yeah, I'll probably go deluxe. The exclusive, I should say. If there's any left, as soon as I have the money, go big and go home, man. I want that dial base. And I don't know where the hell I'm going to put the other tombstones if I get that big window dial base, but I want the big one, the exclusive.
Gotcha. Did you already pre-order it?
No, not yet. I gotta wait for payday.
Gotcha. Understood. No, that's fair. Yeah, and here's the real crystal eye system that I'd mentioned earlier, the RCES, the proprietary caustic plastic technology that came with here. And you can kind of see here they're showing one of the eyeballs here from different views. And yeah, this does look crazy. This looks really realistic. So it's awesome to kind of see. And I'm wondering how they're gonna. Yeah, I'm wondering how they're actually gonna move. If it's gonna be through like a single lever, if they're just gonna be separate rolling. Maybe I just read that. Let me see. Let me go back. It just has rollable eyes.
Okay.
So I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they decided on that yet. Let's see. Head sculpt with rollable eyes and rooted here. Yeah. So I don't think they've mentioned it yet on how they're gonna, what mechanism they're gonna use to move the eyes, to have the eyes move around. Yeah. So that'd be interesting. But either way, those eyes look crazy. They look crazy realistic.
Yeah, they look great.
Let's see. I'm gonna go through some of these more photos here, and here's a flying crow again, and I'm not seeing. Oh yeah, so here's another photo. Going back to the body. To kind of give you an idea, here's a photo with his long sleeve shirt. Obviously, it's all tattered and beat up. And then based on this, we'll keep looking at some other photos, but based on this, I don't really see the joints coming through at all. But I don't know if this is the silicone body, this prototype here that they used initially, or what. But I mean, yeah, this regardless, his long sleeve shirt is covering up all his arms and his upper body, and he has like this.
It kinda,
Yeah, go ahead.
kind of looks jointed.
Does it?
But
You think so?
a little bit, yeah. I mean, you can kind of tell it doesn't look as smooth as a a silicone body would be.
Yeah.
Kind of like in the elbow area looks a little rigid, but I mean it's barely noticeable. It actually looks really good.
Yeah. Again, here's some different photos of the chair here. Let me see if I can switch back to some. I think these are pretty much all the same. Yeah, the photos are the same except for, obviously, like I mentioned, each version will have the additional accessories here. But yeah, I'm trying to see if I can find some photos, some better photos of like the way the body looks without the jacket. But either way, yeah, this does look good. All right, so pricing. So again, I mentioned 4 versions. So here we go. We're gonna get into the pricing option. So this is per Infinite Statues website. This is USD because that's where I'm at. But you do have the option, for those of you that don't know, when you go to Infinite Statues website. Well, if you go to Kaustic Plastik's website, it'll redirect you to Infinite Statues website from there, where you can actually purchase it, and then there's like on the top, somewhere on the top of the home page. I can't remember if it's on the left or the right, but there's a drop down menu where you can switch the currency. Right, and they're based in Italy, right? So I think that's going to be their default currency there. But so for USD, the standard version, again, this is as of the latest conversion from, I presume, from when I went. So the standard version is going to be $357.25. So I'll just be like just over $357. I'll kind of round it up there for the standard version. The deluxe version is going to be just under $451.50. So around like $451 ish for the deluxe. Again, the deluxe is just swapping the sculpted to rooted hair. The deluxe gold version, right? So add the tombstones, the bouquet of flowers, the additional crow, and then the mask. That's gonna be just under $546 USD for the deluxe gold, and then the exclusive, the go big or go home version, the all-in, and that's adding everything plus the window diorama. That's going to be just under $650 USD for that one. And so these are going to be pricey figures, but again, I mean, you can, after hearing what the materials and everything that's going into it, you can understand why, right? It's kind of higher end, high quality figure all around. And like Moose mentioned earlier, if you go to Infinite Statues website and buy direct from them, and you pay up front, right? There are deposits, but if you do the option to do the deposit and pay up front, you will get a 10% discount. So if you pay in full, they do accept PayPal on there. And then obviously PayPal has their options, their payment installment plans through PayPal. So that's kind of not through Kaustic Plastik or Infinite Statues, that's through PayPal. So you have that. But that's an option if you know for sure you want to get this and you're ready to put the money down. You'll save some money by paying up front and getting that 10%. I will also say, you have something to add?
I was going to say, Kaustic Plastik has always been kind of spendy. I mean, even for the standard edition, at $375, it's kind of spendy. That sounds like and for sculpted hair even, that $375 is a lot. That's like more than a Hot Toys figure. Would be. So they better come with it, man.
For sure. And this is, like I mentioned, this is gonna be the first in their line, in their Maestro line. So it's kind of a lot of uncertainty with that one. Yeah, for sure. Let me make sure here. That whoops. Yeah, and it was $357 USD, just over $357 for the standard version on that one. But as an incentive, also, if you order direct through Kaustic Plastik, they are throwing in this crow T-shirt here. So they have this crow T-shirt as a web gift, is what they're offering. They, from what I read, they have 200, right? So it's to the first 200 orders, and I believe that's for any edition that you order, right? So it has it on there. If you go through and you click on any edition or version, I should say, of the figure, it'll have that offer of web gift exclusive. So again, I think it's limited to 200.
That's cool.
Let's see here. Yeah, so that's an incentive, right? That's another incentive to go through them. But I mean, to be honest, I was curious and I did shop around. I did like a Google search for like the Crow T-shirt, and was able to find this shirt. I forget where. I think it was like Hot Topic or something. So if you wanted to, you can, buy the shirt or some other variation of the Crow shirt on your own. But I mean, it's kind of like, as in, if you're going to buy from Infinite Statue anyways, this is a good, nice gift to throw in. But again, they only have, from what I understand, 200 there. So I didn't want to shop around too much, but I like Moose was saying earlier, Sideshow, and I touched on this also. Sideshow does have all of these versions available. Last I checked, though, the exclusive was sold out, but the others are there. So if you prefer to do the Sideshow route, that's an option as well. Their deposits will be cheaper, right? They won't be as much as Infinite Statues. When I did just to go through and see, I did like a dry run. I added one to cart, and you can apply a payment plan to that, your typical Sideshow payment plan, and I'm presume any codes or rewards you have, you can apply to that as well. It's going to have your typical shipping and potential tariffs and taxes, for sure, taxes on that as well. So, but for me, being in the States, when I compared, and I forget which version, but I'm pretty sure it'll be probably similar for the other versions. But I did notice that Sideshow's the base price for any version is about $30 to $40 higher than what's advertised on Infinite Statue. But the final amount, if you go through and you check out, which I did, it was still cheaper for me to go through Infinite Statue than it was Sideshow, because again, Sideshow, you have the base price, but then you tack on, the shipping, the taxes, and the potential tariffs to that. So yeah, that'll increase the price. Infinite Statue, they don't have free shipping to the U.S., nor do they have free shipping to some other countries. There is on their site, if you go to their shipping information, which I included in the description below, it should take you directly to that page. It'll show you the rates of all their shipping rates for the various countries that they ship to. I believe the only place they offer free shipping is Italy. They're local to where they're at. So if I'm not mistaken, I think there. But otherwise, yeah, there's a rate. They give you a rate for each. And I believe those are estimates, because it does say in that same shipping information page that for pre-orders, the shipping is included later on, most likely with your final invoice, though. So, I mean, that's typical, right? Companies usually do that. They give you an estimate. Sideshow does that, too. They give you an estimate of the shipping, because they can't give you an exact amount ahead of time, that far in advance, right? Because it changes. So I presume it's the same way with Infinite Statue as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. But for the U.S., the shipping was $115, which was crazy.
Oh,
I did see that their preferred, that Infinite Statue's preferred carrier is UPS International, though. So I presume that's why. But based on the box and the weight, I'm not sure. But yeah, that estimate so far they gave was $115. But having said that, even with that, it still seemed cheaper than Sideshow's. I will note also. So let's go.
Oh, really?
Let me go. Yeah. After compare. Yeah, go ahead.
Sideshow shipping, and that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was surprised too. I did. But like I said, did each of you go do your comparisons for yourselves just to make sure, and of course go with your the retailer that of your preference, one that suits your needs, and shop around. I'm not sure who else has this yet. I didn't, like I said, I didn't do too much shopping around, but Sideshow and Infinite Statue were the only two I looked at. So just for an example here, I have the Infinite Statues page. Something else I wanted to point out that was confusing, and I don't know if Tim, maybe you can provide some clarification on this too. Here it does say, so this price here, as with all of them, this is the NRD price, is non-refundable deposit. Underneath that it says tax excluded, or tax, in abbreviation for excluded here. But then underneath that again, in this box, it says tariff, custom fees, and shipping costs will be calculated at checkout. And so, they changed it. Wow. Okay. So so I guess they corrected. I was gonna say it was kind of confusing, because initially this had said tariffs, custom fees were included, and that was kind of throwing me off. But it looks like they had that corrected. Okay, so that's good. So yeah. Okay. Never mind then. Yeah. So now I have to go back and recheck this. Yeah, now it says will be calculated at checkout. Yeah, so that's what I was mentioning earlier, right? The custom. So now actually that changes it. Now I'm just finding this out live. You guys are like, whoa, this is my surprise face. So now I have to go back and check again and see which one is still the better option for me anyways. But yeah, I suggest you all do the same, kind of go out and do a comparison there. Okay, wow, that's interesting. All right, well, I guess they solved that.
Yeah, super tariffs.
Yeah, custom fees.
Yep.
Let's see here. Tim Harvey's adding here. I have no more information about the eyes and what they've given. If it's like their other figures, it'll be a standard pegs in the back to move separately. Okay. Yeah, so Tim's referring to my question earlier about how the eyes are going to move around. But so Tim is thinking it might be just like a lever/pegs behind the eyes. Okay. Yep. Thanks for that insight there. NW Collector saying you have at least a year before it's released. Yep. You have, like I said, Q3 of 2027 right now is what they are estimating for release of this. Yep. What's up, Big Rib? Thank you for coming through. Good, sir. Yeah, Big Rib saying plus 115 for shipping at Kaustic. Yep. Yeah, just like I was mentioning. He's confirming there. We got Geo, the movie cat in the house. What's up, Geo? Thank you for coming through. Good, sir. Geo saying, movie cat saying, I think I ordered Frankenstein through KP directly. Yeah, what was your experience like with him? Or, no, it hasn't released yet. Never mind. Yeah, that's right. It was just went to pre-order and hasn't released.
Oh, that really hasn't released yet?
I don't think so.
By now it would have.
Yeah, I could be mistaken, but I don't recall seeing any reviews or anything, or people saying they got it in hand. I don't know. Let me know. You guys let me know if I'm mistaken on that. I don't think it's released yet, but
I still wanted to get that Frankenstein too. That was really good.
Yeah, that looks awesome. We got one half of the Beam brothers, the other half being here in the chat. We got S Beam in the house. What's up, S Beam? Thank you for coming through, good sir. Hopefully you're having a good night. Let's see, Big Ribs adding. Sideshow was the only one getting the exclusive. Everyone else is getting all the other ones. Oh, okay, gotcha. So sounds like Sideshow only got limited number of the exclusives. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Blue?
Which one are you getting, PZ? Are you getting this one?
Yeah, I'm still on the fence though. I'll kind of touch on it here in a minute here. Tim Harvey's adding it just went up for pre-order a year ago. It's expected to release third quarter. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think he's referring to the Frankenstein. Yeah. So that's right.
Yeah.
Okay. It's still set
gotcha. All right.
Cool. They're still working on it. Still working on it. And then Tim's also adding 500 exclusive pieces, 3,000 total pieces worldwide. Okay. There you go. So clarification. Yeah. Like I mentioned, the exclusive is 500 pieces total for the exclusive, right? So I guess they divvied out some to Sideshow, a very limited quantity. How much, I'm not sure.
Yeah, they should divvy out some more.
Yeah, I know, right? That would be cool. I'm sure some collectors would prefer that, yeah. But altogether, Tim's confirming here 3,000 total pieces worldwide. So that's all versions. And that's kind of similar to what KP, Kaustic Plastik, has been doing with their other figures, right? I think that was the same case for Frankenstein. They had mentioned that as well, that they were going to have a total amount. I forget the number, but all versions, but then also their exclusive version for that figure was going to have even more limited number there. So, yeah all around. And I know Fabio has mentioned this in an interview before, and I forget which one, but they seem to be following kind of the same approach of their figures as like InArt or previously Blitzway, where he said he's not gonna they're gonna do a figure, a version of figure, and that's it. They're not gonna do another version of that figure again, like a 2.0 or a reissue or anything like that. So I don't know if
like a Pro or like for just other figures.
No, I just mean in general. Yeah, for other figures in general. I think he's from what I understand. Yeah, that's what I remember him saying. It's just like kind of like like InArt said also, like they don't plan on doing reissues. Although I think I heard that they were possibly thinking about doing a 2.0 Ledger Joker, but I don't know if that's confirmed or that's just a rumor. But Blitzway.
Oh yeah,
yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. They had the option to get like to do the bank robber Joker, but then Hot Toys did it. But then you could do Hot Toys versus InArt there again. The only one I guess would be the cop uniform that they could do it. But I know they said InArt wanted to renew the Heath Ledger likeness, so they could do one of those figures again. Like I said, they could do the bank robber.
Right?
Yeah. just like the cops version.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
I know they have some against the nurse Joker, so
Yeah.
maybe they could just include the uniform, and
Yeah.
and
And
just
have
add
give
that
the
head
collector's
sculpt in.
option to put it on themselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have a little kit. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was gonna say Blitzway too is kind of similar, where like I think they were known for just kind of not reissuing, releasing figures, but they came out with the Ghostbusters though, so I'm not sure what the situation is with that. Yeah, so I don't know if they're kind of now like kind of backtracking that, or just like they're like,
Liars,
what the hell?
dude.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. So I don't want to say never. I mean, who knows? Maybe Bobby or Caustic Plastik in the future may change their mind, but as far as I know, like he said that he's not gonna redo figures, and he's all about, and I mentioned this before on my previous stream, he's all about kind of doing something special and unique that not a lot of other companies do in general, right? His approach to which figures he does, which I give him props for, because I know a lot of companies aren't able to do that, because if they do the kind of niche figures, it usually doesn't work out for the company because they don't sell a lot, there's not a lot of interest, and they kind of just end up failing. But he's finally made a way.
I think after like 10 or 15 years, I think that there's a statute of limitations where that shouldn't matter anymore. Like, you could release another version after like 10, 15 years. If you're still a company and you're still going, like, you could do that. I mean, truly, because after 15 years, I mean, you got new collectors coming in all the time. So.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. But yeah, as far as like the pricing, kind of going back to the pricing and the quality materials here, yeah, I think this is kind of like an example here of what I know some collectors where, with like Hot Toys, for example, like they are suggesting or kind of critiquing that they would like better high quality materials. And again, I know I mentioned NR's doing this with their high end figures, but there's always a trade-off, right, with including those higher end or quality materials and then the price. And we're kind of seeing it here with this. So like obviously the price is going to be higher, and so I would presume if Hot Toys were to take this approach with their artisan, I know a lot of people say about their artisan and they should include quality materials. I think the pricing would be similar. I mean, it already is up there, so I guess you would how much more would it be if they did include all these quality materials for certain figures that would necessitate adding like leather or all this other metal.
Oh yeah, look at Terminator. Terminator was all leather. So and he was, I forget how much he was, but he was up there.
Yep. Yeah, he was. Yeah, whereas this one, with the sculpted hair for this one and all the other premium quality materials, this was like just over 357 USD for the base for the sculpted hair version. So
yeah, that's like about what it was. Yeah,
pricey. So yeah, it's about on par there.
Yep.
Yeah. So again, Caustic Plastik, higher end figure, first figure in their Maestro line, which is again their higher tier figures. Yeah. Anything else you want to add on the figure itself before we kind of go into the comparisons, Blue?
Yeah, I'm still a little peeved at them for nixing that other head sculpt. Since they were saving costs on the body, the silicone body, they could have added another head sculpt. Since nobody liked the angry sculpt, I did though. I liked that sculpt. I think that was more Brandon Lee than the regular one. Personally.
Oh, you think so? Really?
Yeah. But okay. I mean, they could add like a smiling sculpt. He did smile quite a bit in that movie, so they could have easily just added a smiling sculpt and showed the render and get the gauge of the customers and go from there. And so I don't know how much head sculpt like costs, but I mean, you're not doing silicone body, so you're saving money there. You can add a head sculpt.
Yeah, and I will touch on that. Yeah, like a lot of people were. Yeah, I've seen it be reading mixed feelings on that. There's some collectors, and it's always the case, right? You can't please everybody, but I did see some collectors who agreed, like, okay, yeah, I'm fine without the extra head sculpt, and others, like yourself, Blue, were like, oh, well, where's that other head sculpt? It would have been nice to have that. So yeah, and I will touch on that here later on. I do have a slide for that to kind of show you what that angry head sculpt was, what a lot of people, collectors, are referring to on that, and then we'll kind of touch on that later on a little more on why they removed that. But let me address the chat here before I go into the comparisons. Here we got Figure Fight Club in the house. What is up, Bobby? Thank you for coming through, good sir. Hope you're having a good night. Thank you for joining or just popping in. Tim Harvey's adding the Phantom of the Opera figure. Released 700 pieces total worldwide, and their London After Midnight figure total was 400. Wow, so really, limited all around. Wow, and that was part of their Universal Monsters line. Yeah, thanks. Wow, yeah, so really limited there, so you can kind of see. And then in regards to what I was mentioning about Fabio saying no releases or 2.0s, Tim adds, Fabio said over and over, they will never release a 2.0 version of anything. So yeah, there you go. So a 2.0 version. Not to say, I don't know, maybe they may do another iteration, kind of like Blue saying. I don't know if that means that or just no version of the figure at all. Yeah, I'm not sure what exactly that is included or what Fabio considers a 2.0. Yeah. So it'd be
as long as they do multiple versions of Conan, I'm good. You know.
yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, the Barbarian, the Destroyer, right? Red Sonja, if they will, if they can get that.
Well, they got his gladiator costume. They got his regular, his regular suit with the pants and no shirt. That Conan. They got the painted version, the war paint. And they got. I mean, if they truly wanted to, they could do the King Conan towards the end with the beard and he's sitting there on the throne.
Oh yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. And
they could do Destroyer, but I mean that Barbarian is where it's at. So I mean you got multiple choices to go from do multiple RNAs.
Yeah. So you got Yomo in the house. What is up, Yomo? Again, says this will be my first Kaustic Plastik piece. I was very tempted on getting their Toshiro. He's talking about the Mifune figure and Bloodsport. Yeah, man, I jumped on that Frank Dukes. How to get that. Frank Dukes.
Oh, really? Nice.
Like, put up your Dukes, right?
Yeah, I wanted to get that one, man, but that head sculpt is not. It does not do it for me. I appreciate what they're doing. I want a Jean-Claude Van Damme figure, and Bloodsport is awesome, but like, I can't get past that head sculpt. Either of them.
Oh, any of them? Any of the three?
Yeah. It's just it's. I don't know. I don't know if it's maybe the way it's painted. If they could show like a render of what is sculpted, but from what I've seen in all the pictures and stuff like that, I'm just not. And kind of like this one too. I don't really see Brandon Lee there.
Well, let's go. Yeah, speaking of that, let's go ahead and let me bring up those comparisons here. Here we go. All right. So, like I mentioned, we got two other versions. Again, this is just for comparison on, and I have we'll go over like with the accessories of the others as well. But there were two previous Eric Draven figures from the Crow released years ago, some further, some longer than others. But so on the far left here, we have the Hot Toys version from 2014. Here in the middle, we have the Sideshow version that was released later on, like a few years ago, so 2022. And then now this Kaustic Plastik version was set to release again 2027. Again, these are, keep in mind, these are all the prototype announcement photos. I couldn't get any official final sculpt photos from Hot Toys or Sideshow. It was just kind of, other people's, and I didn't want to take it in there. So these are all just based on the prototypes. But I did watch some reviews that shows what these look like, and they're pretty close. Like especially the Hot Toys one is pretty close to what the prototype here looks like. The Sideshow, I think, for the most part, is pretty close. But yeah, there's plenty of reviews out there, so yeah, I recommend just going and checking them out and seeing. But this just kind of gives you an idea of the sculpts here. Honestly, I do think the Hot Toys one looks pretty good based on this. Just again, based on this photo here, right?
I like that one. Yeah, Sideshows looks horrendous. I don't know what's going on there, because I know they have good sculptors. Like for the longest time, when Sideshow did their 2.0 mall, that was like Ray Park. They did a damn good job. They did better than the Hot Toys version, their first version. But I don't know what happened here, man. because woo, that was messed up.
Yeah, it's
But
not.
Hot Toys
Yeah,
is really good.
yeah. The Hot Toys one is pretty good. And then yeah, again, sorry for the low res photos here of the Hot Toys and Sideshow one. I kind of tried to find the best one I could, but there are older figures, so it's kind of hard to get a really good photo. But unlike this Kaustic Plastik one here on the right, higher resolution there, so it's a little more clear. Yeah, I think it's. Yeah, I mean, I think it is a little off, but again, these are all prototypes. So, and the same with the Frank Dukes on the Bloodsport. Like, hoping in the end it'll be a little closer. But I think as this is right now, I think I would still be good with this. This looks good, but yeah, no, I agree. I think they could probably improve it a little more. And it,
Yeah,
go ahead.
kind of there. Like, I can kind of see it in their render. It looked really good. Like, I don't know, and their execution is, I don't know. It's just it looks off to me. I don't know what it is,
No,
but man.
yeah. I was looking at some actual, and I didn't have them here, because I usually don't do like actual like base comparisons, like to the. Because I mean, you can never get it perfect, right? It's never going to be perfect. I know there's always going to be something that's going to be off, and so I'm like, you can get it close. I mean, everyone has, like, I know there's people have their nitpicks, and they can always pick out something, but ideally you want to get as close as possible. But looking at those photos, I do agree. Like, it could use some improvement. So we'll see how hopefully that final comes out looking great though. But I mean, yeah, that is definitely something to consider, though, right? Because this, like we were saying earlier, it's just a good chunk of money here in all versions, and so yeah. And I know there's collectors who want it as accurate as possible, and whether how much you're willing to accept is up to each individual collector on that, on how close you want it to be, or how off it is. But
yeah,
so,
I wish I would have jumped on that Frank Dukes, because. I don't know. They did Frankenstein so well,
yeah,
and then they did Frank Dukes, which was off. Even their funky Screaming Sculpt, like, I could see them getting the render, and going, all right, this looks good, and then it's painted, and then it just looks off. Like, I think he looked too sweaty in his. I think the regular version, he was just standing there. I think that was he looked too glossy, like he was just standing there sweating bullets.
Yeah.
But they're like, they're screaming. The really expressive Frank Duke's face. Yeah, even that. I don't know. It's a little funky.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, I think that one also could use a little work, but still, like, I was just a really big fan of that, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna take the gamble on that, and I pre-ordered that just because, again, I don't want to miss out, because I don't know if we even have any other options for Frank Dukes in 1/6 that I'm aware of.
Right.
License, right?
What would have really helped with that screaming or that expressive face is rolling eyes. When he was like blinded, he was like looking around,
yeah,
and
he was looking all the place. Yeah.
I think that's what would have really helped that sculpt, personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that would add definitely some more emotion to that. But yeah, so unlike this one though here, so now again we have there's granted these are older figures, but there are two other options out there. So for collectors who don't have any of these Eric Draven, the Crow figures, Kaustic Plastik just adds another option to that. So let me switch over here to the accessories here. So again, I was curious myself, and I did some comparisons on the previous figures and what they came with. And again, it's just kind of give you an idea if you don't have any Crow figures and you're looking to get one. So on the left here, we have the Hot Toys version again. That's the one with the smiling sculpt. So the Hot Toys version, standing at 11, so the actual height of the figure stands at 11.5 inches, so 29.5 centimeters, and that's based on one of the reviews I've seen so far, right? So it's again 11.5 inches, so 29.5 centimeters. The Hot Toys one comes with 6 hands, a flying crow, so crow like in a flying pose that you see here on the clear stand. The guitar with the fabric strap, I believe it has a fabric strap. Your basic kind of ovalish bass, and then so that's the standard. There's an exclusive version though that comes with the weather vane. I don't know if you can kind of see here. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Nope, I went back the other way. Let's see here. Zoom. Here, right here. Yeah, so this weather vane, it's basically the one he uses at the end of the movie. If you've seen the movie where he's fighting against Top Dollar and they're on top of towards the top of the church on the roof, and he has that weather vane, that rod there. But that's what the Hot Toys one comes with. So the Sideshow one though does have more accessories. So it comes with a kind of like a perched version of the crow that you see here. Let me close that. 9 hands. So that one has 9 hands: pistol, revolver, a shotgun, a sword. And on the Sideshow one though, it doesn't come with the guitar. The guitar is only with the exclusive edition of the Sideshow version. So again, this is Sideshow, and that figure is actually standing at 12 inches. So it's about half an inch taller than the Hot Toys one. So about 30.5 centimeters for the Sideshow version. So again, Hot Toys is like 11.5 inches. Sideshow is 12 inches. 29.5 versus 30.5 centimeters. And so yeah, so that's those two. And then going back over to here, this Kaustic Plastik one, you see we get 13 hands, this chair, the flying crow that will come with a translucent stand, a bass, a magnetic bass, the guitar with a leather strap, the katana with the metal sword, and then the shotgun. Again, that's for the standard. That's going to be in all the versions. And then of course, like I mentioned before, you just add as you go up from there, the deluxe gold and the exclusive. So yeah, right. So again, you have your options. I'm all about the options. I and this is a good example of why it is good to have options, right? Because I mean, you have the higher end now of the Kaustic Plastik, again, premium quality materials. But can you imagine if that was the only version that we were offered? It's like, damn, I either got to pay the big bucks or not have one at all. Your options are just get it or don't, right? But right. I mean, now you have a couple of more options. Granted, again, these figures are older, but if you want some representation in your collection, I mean, it's just I think it's just good to know that those are out there.
Yeah, I'm a stickler for head sculpts, man. There's no way in hell I would buy that Sideshow one.
Oh yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I know there's collectors that going back to that, that are on the same page, right? And it just it just varies per collector. There's some that don't mind it as much and they care more about the materials. There's some that kind of are more primarily focused on the accessories and what it comes with, or diorama based. So it's just
and the representation of the character, more than
or the body itself, the quality of the body. So yeah, it's just cool that we have all these options, and I just like that for any figure, right, in any scale, and just all across the board in general. It's just cool to have that, so we can be able to decide. But again, some factors to consider for Kaustic Plastiks: the limited overall, right? The exclusive is even more limited, so something to consider there. But any other thoughts on these the 3 versions, Blue?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Any other thoughts on the comparison between the 3 versions before we go into go back into the NRD aspect and just the pricing in general and the angry head sculpt?
I wish they would have kept that angry sculpt. I know people had a problem with it, damn it. But I saw more Brandon Lee in that sculpt than I see in that regular one there. To me, it looked more like him. I don't know. Every collector has their own vision of what people look like. Some, it varies with collectors, but or if somebody had a problem with that angry sculpt, give me a smiling sculpt. Try that. Get your sculptor, say, hey, try a smiling sculpt, see how it goes. We'll paint it. We'll, see if if the majority likes it. But yeah, like you were saying, options. We could have options. No, they don't have the license for Destroyer or Barbarian. Oh, good, because Barbarian's the shit. Um,
I personally like the Destroyer, but I mean, if anything, I'll take a Barbarian.
oh,
Yeah, I was just bringing
hey,
up Team Harvey's comment
nothing
that
wrong
they
with
don't
that.
have the license to do Destroyer, only Barbarian, which is, either way, I'm good with the Conan in general. So if that's the only one we get, that's all good with me. I just hope I
Yeah,
don't like I front that money and then all of a sudden later on down the line, like other companies have done, then we get a Destroyer. I'm like, damn it. So, well, yeah, we'll see.
yeah.
I don't know,
Well,
maybe. Yeah,
I'm hoping for more characters though. Like not just Arnold. Give me Valeria, Subutai,
yeah,
the Wizard. Yeah, Conan. Yeah,
Yep.
Pulse of Doom, Rexor. Give me the whole lot from that freaking movie, dude. Because
That
I
would be
will
cool.
buy it.
Cool, expensive line. Because again,
Yes,
Conan is supposed to be
absolutely.
part of Caustic Plastic's Maestro line as well. So premium, high-end quality stuff for that figure. And Jareth from the Labyrinth, right? That one's supposed to be that Maestro
Yeah,
line as well, from what I understand.
yeah. Another sculpt that they need to reevaluate
The
because
David
it didn't look
Bowie's,
like.
for
Yeah,
those
the
that don't
David
know,
Bowie.
is
Oof.
Jareth. But yeah, so Blue touched on this a couple of times. So let me go ahead and show this. So the Angry Sculpt, the infamous Angry Sculpt that a lot of collectors are kind of either upset or relieved to hear that it's not included. Either way, whatever camp you fall in. So here it is.
Oh, look at that.
This is the
Come
Angry
on.
Sculpt that I want to say Hot Toys, that Caustic Plastic first showed or teased in, I think I have this, if I'm not mistaken, in October of last year of 2025. And so one of the sculpts they had included, well, initially it was planning to include, was this Angry Sculpt here. And so based on, this is, I think Tim had posted this as well in response to someone's comment. People were asking, what happened to the Angry Sculpt now that we have the pre-orders up and we see what is actually being sold with the product, the figure. This is absent of that, right? So now it only comes with the neutral, the standard one neutral head sculpt that we've seen pictures of, and that we saw a comparison of, right? So this Angry Head Sculpt is now not included. The reasoning being, and I believe this is per Fabio, so again, Tim, you can feel free to correct me here if I'm wrong, but they basically said the Caustic Plastic team, they did, discuss and consider it, but they made the difficult decision to remove the second head sculpt because they did acknowledge and recognize that there were collectors who were not happy with the way this looked. They were providing their critiques, which is fair, right? I always suggest that as well. If you're not happy with something and you want it fixed, and especially if you want the figure, actually, I think that's when you should actually be vocal. If you plan on buying it and you want to buy it, and you would like something improved, give your comments. And so of course collectors were doing that. I think they do it already anyways. And then Fabio and the team, they read those comments, they acknowledged it. So they kind of see that there wasn't a lot of popularity for this sculpt to begin with, so they acknowledged that. And so they weren't sure if it was like the loud minority or if there was a lot of collectors who felt that way, but they did reflect on that. So that was the one reason. One of the reasons is like they've just kind of reading all the feedback. The second reason is that rooted hair is, as most of us know, right, is extremely expensive. And to add that, it's not just the wool itself, right? And I mean, in addition to that, that's part of it, because this is supposed to be, I presume, Tibetan lamb wool hair is pretty pricey, but also the work that it takes to actually implant it in the head, right? Whatever they approach or process they use to get it to stay in the head, but to actually implant it in does take time, right? And that does take people labor hours to do that. So they acknowledge that is extremely expensive to produce and very time consuming to make. So after discussing internally with the team, they decided to remove the second head sculpt in hope of satisfying as many people as possible, which I understand, achieving a better final price and at the same time speeding up the production process. So, I mean, I get it. I mean, yeah, I think I personally am okay with that. The neutral sculpt, kind of is like the safe bet. I agree. It would have been nice to have. I would have preferred the angry sculpt. I probably would have wanted a laughing sculpt, or a smiling sculpt would have been good. Initially,
laughing would have been cool too. Yeah.
Yeah, because if you go to here, right in this scene where he has the bullet hole in his hand, he was laughing
Oh, yeah.
during this scene, right? He was kind of like, "Woo, yeah, woo,"
Yeah.
kind of like
Yeah,
shouting,
dude.
and like he was kind of laughing. So that would have been perfect to have with this, especially if you're including this hand, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah,
I think there was
dude.
another scene too, a couple other times, at least one other time where he was laughing. So that would have been a cool sculpt to have, just to kind of have a more playful version of the crow, and or like Blue said, a smiling sculpt. But you know, after now seeing the prices, honestly, I think I'm okay with them removing the second sculpt. Personally, I think I'm good, because you know, now I know, I see like how much more that would have probably added. I mean, I can only guess, but I don't know for sure how much. But I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Blue? I know you mentioned it already, but as far as like adding to the price.
Um, I think, I mean, if they're both rooted like that, I think it would have been worth it. To me, look at the one on the right. That, to me, looks like angry Brandon Lee right there. I mean, I see, I see more in that freaking sculpt there. And, like, when it's the one on the left there, it just looks like he's talking, or, you know, angry, yelling at, you know, who he's pointing the gun to or whatever. Um, and I don't know. I fucking dig it, man. I don't know what everybody else is seeing, but they're fucking insane. Um, yeah, to me, that looks great. That sounds really good to me. And if it had rolling eyes, but
Yeah, it seemed like that was a plan. Yeah, the RCS on this album as well. Yeah, I don't know. I'm in the camp that it does look kind of odd. I think it's just, I don't know. I think it's like the way he's gritty, like he's kind of grinding his teeth, or like he has his mouth clenched. It just seems like an unnatural expression. And I don't recall too much. I'm sure he made this expression in the movie, but it's not anything that stands out to me personally. I should say that I remember personally. So nothing more. Like I remember, like, you know, again, the smiling or the laughing sculpt more, the laughing expression that he does. I remember that more than this.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm sure other collectors probably or fans of the film remember this look. But yeah, I don't. I'm in the camp where, like, yeah, I wasn't too fond of this, but I mean, yeah, I'm sure you're not alone either, Blue, on others who. I know you're not alone, because like, again, I read comics or comments from people saying, "Hey, where's that angry head sculpt at?"
Oh, good. Some people are sane in that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, maybe they could sell it, you know, separately, or, you know, as part of a, you know, deluxe pack or something like that. Get the extra head sculpt, or, you know, like I said earlier, sculpt laughing, sculpt smiling. You know, if people don't like that expression, I mean, I have to look. Like, maybe his teeth are off. Maybe that's what's throwing everything off.
Yeah,
just the
I
way
agree. I think
the
that's
mouth
what
is.
Yeah, I
Like,
think, and Beams mentioned that too. Here says the teeth don't look correct, and yeah, I agree. There's something up with the teeth. I don't know what it is, or just like the way his mouth is formed. On this
Okay,
one.
yeah, I think, like, if they would have, maybe like the teeth are too far forward. It just looks funky. If they would have, if they would have sculpted the teeth better, I think this head sculpt would have been spot on.
Gotcha. Yeah, and Beam add here, S Beam adds, the eyes are perfect. Yeah, I think I kind of agree with you on that one. I think the eyes look better here than the other, neutral sculpts. Let me go back to that. Oh, actually, it's on the other slide here. So yeah, here again on the far right. Yeah, I think that's what it is here. I think the eyes are, and again, I know that's like the toughest thing to nail on a figure is the eyes, right? Because that makes or breaks like the resemblance from what I've seen for the most part, right? It's just like the eyes, and I think that's what it is. Yeah, I think the eyes are probably could use a little work on the neutral face, but yeah. And then Tim Harvey also adds here, he says, I personally never would have used that screaming head sculpt. Yeah, and that's the thing. I know, again, it's like half. I'm sure there's like a percentage either way, right? It can go either way. There's, you know, we're not gonna, companies aren't gonna please everybody, and there are some sculpts.
Do a poll in the group, man.
Yeah.
How many people like the angry sculpt? How many people didn't like the angry sculpt? Or should they have added a laughing sculpt? Do a poll, man.
Has Caustic Plastic ever done that though?
I don't know.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I know Jazz Inc. is famous for that, right? They kind of which is cool, like that they do that. But I know not. I think they're kind of standing alone on that one. I don't think too many other companies. I mean, granted, he's a smaller company as well, or business, but yeah, that could have been an option. But I don't think that is something like Caustic Plastik usually does, or Fabio, I should say. They kind of go with the choice based on their team and go from there. But yeah, I think I think the neutral sculpt is the safest bet. It doesn't work for all scenarios, but again, like the price, and I know a lot of collectors mentioned price, and that's a big factor as well. That's like a major selling point is the pricing on there. So I think overall, I think I'm okay. Not including the sculpt.
Yeah,
Personally,
just go back and fix the teeth, and it'd be fucking perfect. Because that's what you want. I mean, not everybody, but like in an action pose, a pointing gun pose. If you just fix his teeth, he'd be good. And yep, put up a poll.
Yasmin has another good alternative here. He's saying they could have just done 500 included with the big dial set. Yeah, that could have been another. That could have been an option, right? Because they did that with Frank Dukes. I mean, granted, they don't have to do every figure the same, but yeah, with Frank Dukes, the exclusive had an additional head sculpt. It came with 3 head sculpts, right? And I think there was 2. I forget now. I covered this on a separate figure lowdown, but I think it was figure lowdown. I covered the Frank Dukes Bloodsport, but I do know the exclusive included that like yelling head sculpt, which Blue was mentioning earlier. What didn't look that great to him, but they did include another head sculpt. So yeah, that's something they could have done here. I mean, yeah, that obviously again would have jacked up the price even more. But if those for collectors who were going all in anyways and they want everything, I think that probably would have worked out. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's too late for that already or not. But
well, they just need to add, like I said, rolling eyes to that screaming sculpt. That Frank Duke's screaming sculpt.
Frank Duke's one, yeah.
Put them to the side, put the eyes to the side, and like I think that'd be a really good sculpt. Like, it looks off with him just looking down.
Yeah.
Like if you could just move his eyes in any sort of direction, it'd be good. So.
Yeah, now that you say that, I can't remember if I went over this too when I discussed that figure, but I think he's probably, that's like scene specific, like you said, like right after he like covered his eyes and he's looking down. I think it's supposed to be like replicate that scene. So I presume that's why he's only looking down. But I think the option to have movable eyes would have been cool then. And I forget the specifics on that figure. But Tim Harvey here's in response to like the angry sculpt, kind of adding that. Ironically, the only time people spoke up in favor of the head sculptors was when it was eliminated. Initially, the negative comments were 10-1. Yeah, I can see that. That's usually the case, right? Like people usually, I think you had mentioned this in like the comment or in your response to one of the comments is like Fabio wasn't able, or the Caustic Plastik team wasn't able to, they couldn't confirm, right, if it was just the vocal minority. And that's usually the case, right? If there's something wrong with the figure or something that collectors don't like, that's when they speak up, and it's usually like on the negative stuff. And then unfortunately, it's not, I mean, when we're good with something, we don't really speak up because when I say we, as like the collectors who agree or like something, they feel like they don't need to because they like how it is, right? So they don't speak up. But and that's why I do encourage collectors as well. If you like something in that instance, this is actually, that reminds me, Tim brought up a good example here of when collectors should speak up if they like something for that reason, right? To kind of show, because if it's only the vocal minority speaking up and none of the positivity is following that, because you got to have criticism both ways, right? Both good and bad. That probably would have provided Caustic Plastik the feedback like, hey, people are interested, they just want this fixed, or they want it corrected. So I mean, it might be too late for that, but just something for future reference, collectors keep in mind. That's why I always say just kind of go and comment, and then definitely provide that feedback, good as well as the bad, right? To let them know, because things like this could happen.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that's why it happened, but go ahead.
Fix the teeth any good. Fabio, get a hold of me. I will buy that sculpt, man. Get a hold of me.
Just make one for Blue. Yeah, he'll buy it.
Yeah, just tell whoever to fix that teeth. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
He'll take the display model. Just sell him the display one. Yeah, the open box.
Yep. yeah, it's good.
Let me.
This is the-
All right. So, yeah, the last thing we'll go on and kind of continue on with the discussion part of this. Another highly debatable, like hot topic item right now is the NRDs. Let me switch back, and this going back to Caustic Plastik's website here, or Infinite Statue. Sorry. Yeah, in general, like the figure as it is, right? The pricing for the figure is already high. But a lot of people were shocked, myself included, to see these the high NRD price tags here. Let me just jump into this deluxe one, for instance. So we're just looking at the deluxe version again. This is for the most part same as the standard. Just replace the sculpted hair with rooted hair, Tibetan lamb wool hair, rooted hair. So yeah, $225.76. Again, this is on Infinite Statue's website here, which is almost just under the price of the average price of a hot toy nowadays. So it is pricey. I'm not gonna lie, it is pricey. And Tim, again, shout out to Tim, provided this response via Fabio. I think he mentioned that Fabio made this in regards to the high NRDs and why they went with this approach. This was something that he had mentioned Fabio had said as well. So let me just read this here. So very often a company's decisions are shaped by what happens in the past, which is obviously true. We've seen that before. Caustic Plastik is a small company. Our production quantities are tailor-made strictly based on the number of pre-orders. Unfortunately, especially over the last 2 years, we've faced a recurring and serious issue, people paying a small deposit and then disappearing when it was time to complete the final payment. And why does this happen? Mostly because of the compulsive side of collecting. Purchases made too quickly, aka FOMO, without really thinking, encouraged by a very small deposit, and then a change of mind when the product is finally ready. This business model can no longer work, especially with our new Maestro line, which requires a much higher level of investment and commitment. Having up to 30% of orders canceled at product arrival by people who simply vanish is something we cannot afford and cannot consider acceptable for Maestro. For this reason, we've decided to increase the deposit amount with the strong belief that those who place an order will, in 99% of cases, complete the full payment in the end. Unfortunately, what started as a bad habit from some customers was becoming a real existential risk for our entire company. So I will say that all makes sense, and I agree. Like it coming from, again, putting myself in his shoes, in the team's shoes, and as a company, like that, that does make sense. And I am aware of collectors' habits, right? And we kind of hear it, and people openly say it on either comments or in streams, like how they had to cancel. And I mean, for one reason or another, we just things come up and we have to cancel, right? But this kind of is an example. Also, we always say vote with our wallets. If we don't like something, don't buy it, and voice your concern. But this is the other side of that coin, right? Of not voting or voting with your wallet, right? This is an unintentional consequence of that. Because people are voting with their wallet by not buying it and putting the NRD down, or putting the NRD down and just not being able to purchase it in the end for whatever reason, right? One reason or another. People in this case canceled, where it just made Caustic Plastik realize, like, hey, you know what? We can't afford to have these low NRDs anymore because a lot of people, like they said, are canceling. And then per what they were saying is like 30%. So, I definitely get it. And that's similar to what happened with Jazz Inc., right? If you're familiar with Jazz Inc., I believe we were going to make a Star Wars ship or a Star Wars vehicle. And Yost of Jazz Inc. mentioned... Yeah, the Starfighter. Yeah, thank you. And he mentioned the same thing, right? Like, people showed interest in the beginning. They, again, we mentioned Yost Jazz Inc. before, saying how they would take polls or get feedback on what vehicle they would want to make. And a lot of people said a Jedi Starfighter. So Yost is like, okay, we're going to do it. But when it came time to pay up, a bunch of people canceled. They just left. They got out of Dodge, and they just left him hanging, and he had this, and they had to cancel it. And so, a lot of times, we don't really think about, the other side of it. We kind of just, cancel or drop or change our minds without stopping to consider, from the business perspective. And again, it's just one of those things where, yeah, it sucks for a lot of collectors who actually want this myself included, because now I have to really consider whether I want this or not. And it seems like that's what Caustic Plastic's intention is, right? Is to have you really consider it. But yeah, you guys know the saying, right? Like one bad apple like spoils a whole barrel. So it's just that just happens in general, right? With a lot of bunch of things, the different things, and it's just how it is. And unfortunately, that's the case here. So Caustic Plastic had to make a decision that was best for them, and yeah, that's what we have. But yeah, I'll pause there. Blue, anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think like, and everything is timing. Like, I know Jazz Inc. He was doing a bunch of Batmobiles, stuff like that, and I was buying those damn Batmobiles, and then he put up that Jedi Starfighter up, and I couldn't get it at that time. Like, if I got to pick between a Jedi Starfighter and Batmobiles, 89, and the Justice League mobile, the Batmobile, I'm going with Batman. I'm sorry. Like, to me, that's iconic. Like, more iconic, I should say. But I mean, it's not to say that the Jedi Starfighter isn't dope, because I wanted that thing. I would have put the NRD down on that if I wasn't buying like 3 Batmobiles at a time, and his shit is like $1,500, dude. So like if he had nothing else going on, like with his other Star Wars stuff, I think more people would have bought it, like, because they weren't buying the more iconic Batmobiles. That's already $1,500. Not everybody can buy everything at once. So like, timing matters. I mean, truly. So there's that. But I'm also curious now that we're talking about the pricing for the Crow. Also, what was the price for Frank Dukes and all his 3 head sculpts?
Ooh, let me see here. We're here on the website. Let me see if I can check. I don't recall, but let me check. But while I pull that up, what was the point you're going to make in comparison with that? Let me see if I can pull up Frank Dukes here.
Like, I know he comes with like the gigantic window and stuff like that, and that's $650, something like that. I'm curious, like, how much a head sculpt costs, in comparison. And I know rooting it costs more. I get it, takes more time and stuff like that, and more careful artistry, but like, they got 3 head sculpts for Frank Dukes, and multiple bodies, multiple outfits. Yeah, and I'm just curious, like, how how much?
So here, the exclusive version on Infinite Statue website was $452, so just under $452.50 for USD. So, but yeah, like you pointed out, like, it doesn't have the wool, Tibetan lamb wool, implanted hair. There's no leather. I mean, and it doesn't need leather, right? It's like very figure character specific. So there's no leather involved here, no metal or die cast accessories. So I mean, that's fair. I think that's I can see why there's a big price difference there. There's no big diorama base with this one,
right?
With this Frank Dukes. Yeah, and this is not part of their Maestro line as well. So that's why it doesn't have all that premium high end quality stuff for Frank Dukes.
Oh, like all the leather and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, what is it? Oh, I keep clicking on cars. Whoops. Okay, let me go back here to Brandon, Eric Draven the Crow. So yeah, here's the deluxe gold version, or deluxe gold edition. Just under $273 for the deposit on this one. And then the exclusive version here, just under $325 USD on the deposit for the exclusive edition. And again, on Sideshow, their deposits are going to be lower, right? Because that's typical Sideshow. They're following their own typical Sideshow deposits for their figures, like their own percentages. which I
like
forget how much. It was
5% or
like,
something like that.
yeah,
Or
something
like
around those lines. Yeah. And so that's another thing I wanted to touch on, right? So, and then Fabio seemingly mentioned this in his comment too, in his explanation. Is this is like Caustic Plastik is a small business. Sideshow, as we know, is huge, right? They're like the official distributor of Hot Toys. They cover multiple shipping to multiple countries here, and so they're able to offer those lower NRDs, right? Because they're just already so big, and they have their volume and quantity of multiple products, right? Not just figures. It just covers a lot, so they're able to still do that. I don't know, but who knows? One day, maybe in the future, if enough people cancel, or they just have issues, they might follow the same suit. Maybe they might increase their NRDs, which would suck for all of us. But you know, Caustic Plastik's not pushing their numbers, and then again, they're not trying to. I think Fabio has mentioned also that he's going into this knowing that he's aiming at a niche market, a niche group of collectors who are into these figures that he's making, and hence why he's making a limited number overall. And in that, you know, kind of what we see similar to customs, right? That the more limited a figure is, the smaller production quantity amount, the higher the price, right? Because it's just more work going into these individual figures. And then again, here on for Caustic Plastik, they do mention these are all handmade or hand tailored made. I'm not sure to what level or to what degree, but it does say handmade production here, right? So I'm not sure exactly what all parts are handmade, but it seems like there's more labor going into this than a mass-produced figure. So again, that's understandable for the price to increase there. But yeah, the NRDs, again, Sideshow is just a larger business, and the other similar businesses that are larger, they're able to afford those NRDs, whereas Caustic Plastik isn't. And the same for Jazz Inc. I know this similar situation came up for the Penguin, the Danny DeVito Penguin from Batman Returns. A lot of people were really shocked at the deposit, which was pretty expensive.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Yeah, myself included. I mean, I wasn't getting it, but still, I was surprised. And granted, it's not a worldwide license for that Jazz Inc. Batman Returns Penguin, but still, like the places we were able to get here in the States, anyways, the deposits they were asking for were pretty high. And so,
yeah,
$300,
$350 for that for like the deluxe Penguin. It was like $350 for the NRD.
Oh, was it? Yeah, I couldn't remember. I know it was high. I think one of them wasn't like 500 for the 2-pack or something like that, or higher.
But
I forget how much it was.
Yeah. Oh, because I know I was going for the deluxe 2-pack and all that. It might have been $500 bucks.
Okay.
Shit, it might be. Now that I think about it.
I know you might be right. I might be mistaken. I'm kind of just going off memory on that, but like I'm not really good with those, with remembering the prices, anyway. So I know S Beam is pretty good at that, but
yeah, even though.
Yeah, regardless, the point I was making is that Jazz Inc. also. I don't think Yost has said this, but I'm guessing that's probably like the similar reason, right? Like he increased the NRD to because he just couldn't afford the cancellations. I'm guessing the pattern seems the same, right? Like that seems like the only reason why you would increase the NRD, to make collectors actually think about pre-ordering before they actually pre-order, right? Before they drop that money for the NRD. So
yeah, and how for the serious collector, like if you really want it, you're going to pay that NRD.
Yeah. And again, Jazz Inc. isn't a big business as well. They're a small business. It's just family-owned, family-operated, right? Just himself, his wife, and I forget who else. I think he's Yos's father or father-in-law. I forget. But they're running it, so they're doing what they can. And so, kind of similar approach, I believe, to Caustic Plastik, in that they want to make figures that they're interested in, and they're just making enough to fund the next production. Maybe like I said, add some small profit, but just make enough to, of course, pay everybody, their employees and everybody, and then go on to their next figure. So yeah, they're aware that they're more of a niche market, but yeah, like Blu, like you mentioned, man, like the I think for the better, they're making collectors stop and make them think, do I really want this figure? Because I know that was my thought. You asked me which version I wanted earlier, and I think I mentioned this in the chat too. It was like, man, I really have to stop and think, how much do I want this figure? Do I feel like it's worth it? Because it is pricey. The NRD is pricey, and I have to stop and like make sure I'm really sure. But like you touched on earlier, I think collectors who know for sure they want this I don't think it would. It doesn't matter to them too much that the NRD is high, right? I think if you know you're gonna get it, you're gonna get it regardless. And so I think it's more meant for those collectors, and if you're all in, you're all in to begin with. And so, yeah, no more power to those people who know. I do want a Crow figure because I don't have any version, any iteration, well, except in 1/12. But yeah, damn it, I think this looks really good, man. If anything, I think I might do the deluxe, just the deluxe version. I don't. I think I'm good without the bases. Yeah, the huge one or the tombstone. So how realistically, how am I gonna actually use those? I'm trying to be real with myself. Like I don't think I'm gonna use those. I think if I were to get those, they would stay on the box. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna go deluxe.
Put it next to the Beetlejuice one, Beetlejuice tombstone.
Oh yeah, having given flowers to like Shelly and Eric. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you said you're looking to lock in the exclusive?
Yeah. Like I said, go big and go home, man. I love that. I love the base. Do I have room for the base? Probably not, but I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna enjoy it. It's iconic to the character, which is nice. And in certain shots, like I know the sculpt is there, and in certain shots, the shadow hits them, and it looks really freaking good. I don't know what they need to do with the paint, but that's whatever. But yeah, the deluxe or the exclusive, excuse me. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do with the big dial base and the tombstones, but
yeah.
I want that look pretty much. And I was thinking like, I'm gonna get rid of that frickin' pole stabbing into that crow. I want to like attach a string to it, so it's like you barely see the twine. So it looks better than that. I mean, I know what they're doing, and it's cool, man. I like that it's flying like that. But it just like with a string attached to it, you barely see the string with a black background. It would, yeah. I think that would really set it off better.
That's a great idea, man. Yeah, that's good for putting that out there. That would be cool. If I were to get this, I think I would probably do that same approach. Hang the crow from the string. Yeah, man. Another thing I wanted to point out too here on a lot of these photos, of course it says prototype shown, but it also says pending licensor approval. So I'm wondering what that is applying to, like what parts of the figure or the figure itself. So hopefully there's no issues with that down the line. But,
I'm not going to change shit now, Maestro Lion.
Yeah. So yeah, there's something to be aware of. I just had noticed that earlier as well. Another thing, I guess the last thing here that I wanted to kind of bring up, kind of related to NRDs and pre-ordering. I know we talked about pre-ordering and which ones we were possibly going to pre-order here, but I know Blue, you mentioned this before. You know, kind of similar to voting with your wallet and or supporting a figure. I would say consider, of course, and this is in general. Some of you may already aware, but just consider pre-ordering a figure that you want to support, right? Because it's always a gamble, we know, especially with these kind of lower production runs. Hot Toys can be hit or miss, but you got to think not only to support it, but if you really want a figure, right? Because otherwise it may not be around later on, or if it is, it may shoot up in price on the secondary market. And I mean, yeah, there's collectors who say, you can, if you're patient enough, you can get something at a good deal, and I kind of follow that to some degree. But the other side of that is, how long are you willing to wait, right? Because again, we don't know there's no guarantee, and we don't know how long that's going to take. If we had a figure almanac, I always say figure almanac about when a figure is going to go up and how much it's going to be, then we'd all be better off. But no one knows. Yeah. It's just a gamble. It's kind of like the stock market, right? We don't know how it's going to act like 10 years in the future. It's unpredictable. So it's just up to the collector to either take that risk, take that gamble, and not pre-order, and then see what happens in the future and go from there. So, but the consequence, right, of not pre-ordering is now, all these retailers, especially mom and pop shops, they rely on the pre-orders to see how many they need to get, right? Because then they turn around, from what I understand, they submit their orders to the distributors for however many pre-orders they get, right? So if you say you don't pre-order and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna wait down the line and see what happens. Well, in Kaustic Plastik's case, it's already limited to begin with, but let's apply that to Hot Toys just for now for this example. They get their orders, they have their numbers. Hot Toys themselves make a certain amount and then add whatever percentage to that. When it comes out, they're already distributing what the amount they got orders in for, right? So like everyone's already getting their orders. Now say you want to come around and be like, okay, that looks good, I changed my mind, I want to get this now. Well, now it's kind of, you gotta, first come, first serve. You better hurry up and jump on it quick, because I'm sure they only have like a certain amount that they made extra, right? The mom and pop shops already put in their pre-order. And I've experienced this myself, where like one of the mom and pop stores that I order from, they've emphasized this in an email. They're like, hey, on their website too, if you're going to pre-order, seriously consider be serious about purchasing, because it affects us if you don't. Then we have the figure. Or if you don't pre-order, we only get a certain amount, and then if those are still out, that's it. We're not going to get any more. And so, all that to say, yeah, just something you really have to think about nowadays, especially with more figures that are going waitlisted, and then some figures you may come around again, and you may get at a lower price than retail, but you never know. Like the T800, I mentioned this before from Hot Toys, both the clean and battle damage, that was sold out everywhere. Before it was released, and it was crazy. I haven't seen that in a while in any Hot Toys figures, at least that I remember. Have you seen that, Blue? Do you remember a figure that was just like sold out almost everywhere, if not everywhere? Before release?
Before release? I don't know, not many times, man.
Yeah, so it's rare, right?
I don't know why for something that popular.
Yeah, it's like I'm sure people speculate. Yeah, Terminator 2 is going to be popular, like it's a popular figure, but I don't think like to that extent. And then so it just varies. It's just all that to say again, just really consider whether you want to pre-order or not. And again, I know it's not everyone is able to do that within their budget and their means. It's not that people can afford to, and I definitely understand that. Right, we definitely have to pick and choose and stay within our budget and our lanes. But if there's a figure you really want, yeah, I'm just saying, if you pass on it, you take the gamble of possibly missing out later on. And I know that's the whole FOMO thing, right? But it's just, okay, I just bring that up to consider both the pre-order aspect and the quantities you get later on when it does come down the line. So, I don't know, anything you want to add to that, Blue?
I want to add to that for sure, because just to support the line, man. Supporting this kind of Lacroix is kind of niche, kind of a cult classic, but like I don't know what other figures you would get from this to support the line, but this supporting this would also support another cult classic that they could make, and yeah, go to the story. Yeah, like Frank Dukes, man. If you don't support Frank Dukes, they're not going to make Bolo.
Yeah.
Just I do what I can to support the lines, because I know what can come after. Like if like you said, if you don't pre-order, shit don't happen, man. It ain't gonna, nothing continues. And I want to see more stuff like this. I want to see more, I want to see more Van Dammes. I want to see more Conans. I mean, I don't know how many people want to see, that stuff. But pre-ordering is important. Despite what you've heard in the past. It's just you got to put that money down, unfortunately. And whether you have, if you have it, awesome. If not, that's okay too. It's not for everybody. But yeah, I mean, we're all in the figure game, man, and It all requires money,
Yeah.
and it all comes at once, sadly. And so you got to pick and choose. Um, but yeah, like
Yeah. And again, we're just, yeah, I'm not saying definitely start pre-ordering everything, and I'm not trying to list FOMO. I'm just FOMO. I'm just saying,
right.
consider, both sides of it, right? What happens if you don't pre-order?
Yeah.
But again, for sure, definitely primarily stay within your means. Of course, budget, look at family first, and all your other essentials come first before anything else. And so, yeah, I get that.
And if you don't like something, you with your wallet, right? You can talk to on Facebook, a company shows production photos or whatever, and you can give constructive criticism on what that what can change. Don't be a dick about it. Constructive criticism, what could change, and if they change it for the better, put that money down. One that they listen and they want to make the best product possible.
Yeah, Fabio seems like, he sounds like one. He's like kind of, well, I mean, he already mentioned too. Listens to in some of his responses. He's kind of taking in the feedback that he's getting so far from collectors. So
hitting that damn head sculpt. So he got rid of that shit.
He removed it. Yeah.
Yep.
Another thing I wanted to touch on too. I forgot to mention this. So another example of people not pre-ordering. From what I'm hearing, the InArt Pennywise, right? The InArt Skarsgård Pennywise, that ultimately not a lot of people pre-order that for one reason or another. I'm not sure, but the final production quantity was really limited, and so now, there was a surge. I'm guessing because of the Welcome to Derry TV show or whatever it is. A lot of people have more interest and they changed their mind. But again, like I said, they only made so many because they went off the initial pre-orders, and now that figure is super rare. Or I don't want to say super rare, but it's rare. I believe from what I heard, it's like under 1,000 that were made, and so now it's really expensive on the secondary market. And so that's an example there. If that all that is true, that's an example of why pre-ordering a figure that you most likely will be interested in or want to kind of jump on that pre-order earlier. I mean, and obviously the other option is just like, okay, well, I missed out, so if I miss it, I miss out, and that's it. I don't need that figure, which is fair, right? That's definitely always the option, right? None of these, we don't need any of these, right? This is all luxury to begin with. This is a hobby, right? So they're just toys, right? They're just they're all action figures, so this is just all additional to begin with. So that, granted, that's the base there, right? It's just none of these, we don't need any of these, so that can be applied.
That goes back to my previous point too, timing. Like if they would have had something when Welcome to Derry was going on, you know what I mean? Then more people would have pre-ordered or bought more. And sadly, you gotta hit while the iron's hot. You know what I mean? You see some, climbing in popularity. Strike while the iron's hot. That's what it is. Go in on that popularity and then release a figure and announce a figure and that way.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna lie. I've that's how I approach figures. Right, if there's a figure I really want, I just pre-order it because I want to get it. And I try not to think about whether the price will go up or down because again, I can't predict that. And I don't think anyone can. And so having said that, there have been times where if I would have waited, I would have got a figure cheaper, either from somebody else secondhand or like it went on sale or someone else was offering it. But I mean, again, I didn't know that at the time. Had I known, then of course I would have waited. But also, though, on the other side of that, there are figures I have now that are really expensive because not a lot of people bought them. And the same thing I mentioned earlier, they were sold out and now everybody's chasing them. Supergirl, the Hot Toys Supergirl, the Kurt Cobain Blitzway. To name a couple, there's some other ones that I have, but it's just so I win some, you lose some, right? It's just part of it. You win some, you lose some, and again, I suggest just getting the figures that you want, because either way you're taking a gamble, or I mean, if you want to do that, and you're more of a gambler and you like to live on the edge, or you like to live dangerously, then yeah, by all
Yeah.
means, just hold out and wait and see how long it'll take to get that figure later on. But again, that's the thing, right? Time. How long are you willing to wait? It could be indefinite, or it could be a few years. That's to each their own on that one.
Yeah, and if you love the characters, man, get them. I mean, for me, like you, Feezy, I don't buy it to look at the value and sell it later on, or I buy figures because I love those characters and I love that IP.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, I'm not thinking about that later on. Like, I just want it because I want it. And they just happen. If they go up in value, that's a bonus. But I'm not. Yeah, I don't think I've sold. Granted, like only if I had like a double, and which I didn't need after all, and I've done that here and there. But for the most part, yeah, I usually keep my figures and I just stick with them because, yeah, like you said, like I really want them. We got Tim here chiming in on the adding to the feedback aspect that we were mentioning earlier. It says. Tim says he and Fabio had many discussions in private about feedback towards products, and the feedback is really taken into consideration. That's really reassuring to hear, Tim. Thanks for adding that. Yeah, and it seems that way too. Like based on the responses you posted and like the ones I just read earlier about what that you said coming from Fabio. So, which is good, right? So again, that kind of goes to what Blue and I were saying, right? If you have some critiques, again, constructive criticism, of course. Provide that, maybe offer some options, suggestions. That also helps it. And again, if you see positives, though, if you is there things that you like, be sure to say that as well, so they know, okay, people actually like this. We're doing good, because that's always good to have, right? I'm sure we all feel good when we get positive feedback in general. Yep. In addition to the negative, right? It can always just be negative. You want to have that balance there. You're good and the bad. Yeah. So yeah, thanks for that, Tim.
And don't be like Hot Toys, man. They don't listen for shit. It takes media like IGN to change a damn figure. I mean, like you mentioned, Supergirl, the cave woman, whatever, and like it's nice that like Jazz Inc. and Kaustic Plastik, Fabio and NRDs, they all take into consideration the customer feedback. And that's awesome. And that's what I like to support as well. I mean,
that's a good point. That's supporting not just the figure but the company as well and what they're doing, and because we don't have a lot of that. You're right. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Yep. Tim here is saying he guessing Fabio emphasizes constructive criticism because just saying a product sucks doesn't tell them anything. So be descriptive about your criticism, and it goes a long way. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I mentioned that before, right? You can't, don't
be a dick.
People aren't going to know what to fix or if something's wrong if you don't tell them, right? That was one of the caveats I usually say on my streams, right? If voting with your wallet, the caveats to that are, provide your feedback. In addition to that, because if you just don't buy it, they're not going to know what's wrong or what you don't like about a figure or product in general. So, it's good to have that feedback in any sense, not just figures, right? Just apply that to anything. And then the second caveat is in numbers, right? If enough people critique something or a lot of people feel the same way about a certain thing, then that'll get the company to kind of listen. So it seems like, again, going back to this Angry Head Sculpt. Fabio and team were seeing more negative than positive on that Angry Head Sculpt, and so again, more people in numbers. So like, okay, well, I guess people don't like it, and so then here we are. They removed it. So
yeah.
Yeah,
that's what you want. You want your companies to listen and take in that feedback and change things accordingly if something doesn't look right. And sadly, they got rid of that damn head sculpt, even though it's good to me.
Yeah. And the last thing I'll add on just on pre-ordering and NRDs in general, and I think we'll be good. We can wrap up here. Is that and I get things come up. Blue, you mentioned this, timing as far as like when things come out, and again, that's just nothing. We can't predict when we get time frames of when figures are going to release, but we can also predict where we're going to be at in that time, like a year from now or 2 years from now, right? And where our finances are going to be or what comes up. So, if you have to cancel, if you pre-order a figure, and you have to cancel, that's definitely understandable, right? That's usually what companies have in place, or like for those exceptions, right? Like I'm not, again, I full transparency, I've canceled some figures too. I try very hard not to. Again, when I buy a figure, for the most part, I know I want to buy it and I stick with it. But there have been times where, like, okay, you know what? Maybe on second thought, I won't be able to get this figure, or I shouldn't have got it, and so I've had to
Or
cancel. But
pre-ordered too many, and it's just like
exactly,
all at once, and dude,
so
we've all been
I'm
there.
guilty. Yep, exactly. So I know a lot of us are guilty as well, myself included. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like I haven't done it. So I have done it, but for the most part, I really try not to, because again, I try to consider the business aspect of it and how that would affect them, and plus, like, again, I really want the figures. So my cancellations have been very minimal. Granted, I don't want to lose the money either. I mean, it's an NRD, a non-refundable deposit, so I'm not getting that money back, and I understand that. Unless it's Sideshow, and they delay a figure, you can get your NRD back if it's delayed past the time frame that they're advertising. So FYI for you out there that don't know. But in general,
and a lot of collectors do that too. They wait for, like, if something gets delayed, then they get their NRD back. And,
Yep. So yeah, all that to say, I do understand there are exceptions out there, but when people start taking advantage of that exception in any sense, but in this case, the whole cancellation thing, this is the negative impact of that. And I'm sure we've gone to some place, some business, or some place where they have a sign like, don't do this, and you kind of think to yourself, like, that's stupid. Why do they have a rule for that? Most likely because someone before has done something to have this business or company say, okay, no more doing this. Yeah, don't stick your tongue in the toaster, or something. I don't know, something stupid. It's just, because someone's done it. The rule's there because someone's done it in the past, and Fabio had mentioned earlier, it's just a business. What is it? A business or a company is shaped by what happened in the past, and so when enough people just take advantage of certain situations, this could be the result of that. So again, just something to keep in mind about not just cancellations, but if you're considering, I know there's people out there who can who try to be clever and send figures back if they broke them themselves, right, and they'll send it back to a company trying to get a replacement. It's just take advantage of the system like that. And, unfortunately, there's people out there who do that, and then again, the bad apples that ruin it for everybody else. And so I would just please urge you to reconsider doing that. I mean, you can just tell me to fuck off, but I mean, still, it does affect other collectors. So just please keep that in mind for everyone else, I should say. So, but yeah, anything else to add to that, Blue, or in general, as we wrap up?
That's why payment plans are nice. You can set up payment plans with, like, Sideshow. You can push out payments, which is nice. They're adjustable only a certain amount of times, because people abuse that as well, and now we got the rules for that too. So there's options out there, like Kit. He does payments. So if you have, like, an expensive ass Jazz Inc. figure, you can do payments on that. You don't have to wait for the figure to come out. You just PayPal him that money, and you slowly pay that off over time. So you're not fully punted with that giant ass bill. So I don't know if any other stores are like that, but I know Kit is, and that's freaking awesome. So.
Kit's been awesome. I haven't had any issue with them, but that's another good suggestion, Blue. Just look at any possible potential payment options. Yeah, some might have either credit checks or some other stipulations surrounded with it, but whatever you need to do that is best for you. Again, it's best for your situation and your financial needs. Try to see if there's any plans or any assistance you can get from that in making those payments. But again, these are just luxury items, things that would be nice to have. Again, just please spend within your means and within your budgets. Don't want anyone to get themselves in trouble. Although these are great. Yeah, yeah, these are great pieces of work and art. But yeah, I think they're just that. So yeah. Other than that, I think we covered a lot. Yeah, thank you all for catching the live. For those of you watching, appreciate it. Thank you for your time, or any of you who jumped in any midway through the stream or any part during the stream. Again, I will have the timestamps in the description below, so if you want to go back and kind of jump to certain parts of the stream, that's there as well. And I am seeing kind of bonus here, bonus news. Boop, 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 boop. People are mentioning that the Predator, some Predator has just dropped. I guess Hot Toys is. I'm seeing a Father Predator, so yeah, think that might be something you might have to look. I'll have to. I think I'm gonna go ahead and include that in the next hot talk. So speaking of, yeah, I got a hot talk coming up here, and I'll address that here in a minute. But I want to give out a shout out again to Tim Harvey. Says great stream. Thank you for the invite, Tim. Thank you again so much, man. Appreciate you stopping by and correcting me on my mistakes here and providing us that additional information, confirming, and for everything that you're doing out there in the Facebook community, man, and providing that info, because I know that is helpful. I know Fabio and some of his team can't answer everybody and address everybody's questions or comments as much as they like to, so I'm sure he appreciates you having there to help out with that. So thanks again, and appreciate you being here, spending your Thursday night with us. Hopefully you're not up too late and you're not losing sleep because of that. So if you do, again, thank you. I appreciate that, though. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jim.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Blue, anything you want to shout out or plug before we jump off?
No, I'm hoping to join you for that hot talk. I'm going to see what this Predator is all about here. I don't know what's going on there, but yeah, thanks for the invite, man. It's really good to talk about this kind of in depth, and yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, man, I'm glad you're able to join me. Yeah, I always say I'm not, I don't mind streaming alone, but it's always good to chat figures with somebody else, and so I never expect anyone to spend their time to join me here on the panel, let alone in the chat. So anyone that does, it's always appreciated, yourself included, and everyone again here in the chat, and all my panelists too, and Moose as well. Moose was here earlier; he jumped in for a little bit. So yeah, I definitely appreciate your time, man. It's you could be doing anything else. Any of you could be doing anything else, and so you're here. So it's always appreciated. But I will have the links to Blue's socials in the description below. You can catch him on Collector's Figure on Mondays, usually on Mondays, with his other half, S Beam, and the rest of the crew there. And I'll have friends of the channel, so I have S Beam's link to his channel in my friends of the channel section, so you can see that there. But thanks again, Blue. Appreciate it. As far as myself, like I mentioned, Hot Talk coming up this Sunday, which is, let's see, January 25th, 2026. I have that scheduled already. I'll be discussing the latest Hot Toys figures and announcements like I usually do, including apparently this new Predator. I'll have to check that out here after the stream, but I wanted to just keep it just on the Crow for this one. So I'll throw it in, the Hot Talk. We'll just go over that one. But thank you all in the chat for letting me know, though, that dropped.
It's Friday.
Yeah.
Geo, movie canon.
Yeah,
I'll be joining him as well.
Yeah, I unfortunately won't be able to make it, but yeah, when I can, I am on Geo's the Movie Canon's Figure Talk stream on Fridays. I think it sounds like Blue's going to be there. I think he'll have some others on there as well. So yeah, another friend of the channel, the Movie Canon. Check out that section of my my friends of the channel section for his channel. So yeah, Figures Talk usually on Friday nights, and he has a bunch of other content as well. So yeah, go and show him some love if you enjoy what he's doing. Check out his channel and consider subscribing if you're not already. So yeah, Figure Talk. I'm trying to see if I have anything else. No, I think that's it. If you haven't already, I did my 2025 1/6 recap. That's on my channel as well under the How You Figure episode. So I have a playlist for that. I covered a lot of the highlights. I highlighted a lot of the 1/6 figure announcements and releases from 2025. So that is up on my channel now. So check that out if you're interested. And of course, I have playlists for all my Hot Talks and figure lowdowns. Hot Talks where I cover Hot Toys news and announcements, In Art, Jazz Inc., any of the major 1/6 players. Figure Lowdown is the opposite, where I cover the kind of less popular 1/6 figures and smaller scales. So 1/12, 1/10, 1/18, things like that. Multiple scales basically. So that's Figure Lowdown, the less popular figures. Hot Talk for the major 1/6 figures. So yeah, all that's on my channel. Playlists are there. Thank you again. Appreciate you all for joining us. Hopefully you found this informative, helpful, enjoyable. If you did, I would just sort of a reminder to hit that like button. Again, I put this together so it can help you collectors make informed decisions about which Crow figure you want to buy, or Kaustic Plastics, which version of their Crow figure you want to buy of Eric Draven. And hopefully, yeah, that was helpful. So again, appreciate it. Thank you for support. And with that,
Fire it up! Fire it up! Fire it up!
fire it. No, I just want to play that one more time. Yeah. All right, all. Have a good night. We'll catch you later. Take care. See you.